Hello everyone, I'm Disha Gupta and welcome back to the Nerdy Bookworm. As we all know that the exams of CAT and XAT are already over and the most dreadful thing now is GDPI. So today I'm going to give you some really good tips which will be helpful and not only for management students, even anyone who wants to appear for the exam and clear an interview can watch this. Let's get started. A very important aspect of GDPI preparation is keeping yourself updated. You need to have the general knowledge of what is going around because the topics of GD are generally picked up from that only, and your interview can be centered around current affairs. You need to know about what's going on in India. You need to know about what's going on in the world. And I'm not saying that you have to read those fat boring newspapers. No, just download an app, spend some 10-15 minutes on it. Just cut your Instagram for 10-15 minutes and spend it on it, and it will do wonders. You will know what is going around. You'll have content, and that is the most important thing. Along with good presentation, you also need good content, and it will come when you keep yourself updated. So first let's talk about group discussion, or as we popularly call it, the GD. The first and foremost thing is, if you want to begin a GD, don't just jump into it. Give your introduction and say something like, okay, with the team's formation I would like to begin. No one is going to say no, okay, but it will give a good impact on the invigilator that you are considerate, you are thinking about the team. And don't be desperate to start and end the GD. If you start the GD, let go of the end, and if you want to end it, then let go of the start, because if you speak at both the times and you take up too much time, it will work against you. The second tip would be that speak at a stretch. Do not give points of 5 seconds and back off. When you are speaking, speak for at least 2 minutes and keep speaking unless and until someone interrupts you. And try doing it more in the first half of the GD, because mostly in the second half of the GD the invigilator gets distracted. So first half is more important. So in a GD, along with speaking, what is also important is listening. You have to keep a tab of what others are saying. You listen, you register, and if you have a counterpoint, you say it. If you agree with it, then you say it too, because it will give an impression that along with good speaking skills, you also have good listening skills. And if you don't know anything about the topic, like it's completely out of the blue, if you're someone like me who is not that tech savvy and a technical topic comes, don't panic. Don't show it on your face that you don't know anything about it. Wait for some time, wait for a minute or two, let others speak, register their points, build a story around it, build a story with anything you know. Use elements, stories, anecdotes, use anything, and then speak. And you can also say like my friend said, or like he said, like she said, so that the invigilator knows that you have registered information in your mind and you are using it viably. And the last step would be that don't underestimate your point. Don't try to give something utterly out of the box. Your point may not be out of the box, but the presentation matters. You have to be confident and you have to speak like you mean it. Speak with confidence. Even if you are reiterating someone else's point, even if you are adding to it, speak like it's a new idea. You have to convince the invigilator that it's your point and it's novel. See, he is not there to reject you. He is there to accept you, and you have to keep that in your mind. After GD comes even the more dreadful part of interview. Here you can have 2, 3, 4 panelists depending on how fortunate or unfortunate you are for that matter. So here are some tips for having a good interview at least. So the first tip is related to your greeting. When you enter the room, you see the interviewer and you go like, good morning sir. What impression will it have? See, I'll show you. First is, good morning sir. Second is, good morning sir. You see the difference, right? See, the interviewer has been sitting there since morning and he has interviewed so many students. He is typically bored. He doesn't have any interest in interviewing you. So you have to develop that interest. So when you enter with a smile, even he is surprising. Why is he so happy? He'll have an interest in you. He'll have a conversation with you. Which brings me to my second point, which is have a conversation with the interviewer. Don't get interviewed. You have to talk to the interviewer. Like it's your story. It's your life story. You have to make him hear it. Don't let him ask questions that you don't want to answer, because the interviewer can ask very difficult questions if he gets into it. You have to drive your interview to your strengths and don't let him wander near your weaknesses. He will try to do that. He will definitely try to do that. You have to just pull him back to your strengths. That's how you drive it. And the third point is, be confident. Smile. When you are answering, even if you don't know anything, like it's a very difficult GK question. He asks you something about the budget 2021 and you have no idea what the budget is all about. Just smile and say something. Say anything you know. Just don't tell him, okay, so I don't know, I'm not able to answer it. Don't do it. And okay, on the contrary, don't be on another level. Don't just say, don't start blabbering. Say something meaningful, get some content, but just don't be silent and don't blabber, and say it with confidence. The fourth point is that you have to stay clear of giving strong political or social opinions, like any controversial opinion for that matter. Be it politics, be it a farm bill, be it a budget, be it anything. Don't try to pick a side. Don't try to be on the left or the right side, because you don't know what is the ideology of the interviewer. And if your ideology doesn't align with the interviewer's ideology, then your interview is gone. So don't take a very firm standpoint. Try to take a middle path and wave your way through it. He will try to pull you back. He will try to ask difficult questions so that you have to take a standpoint. Stay clear. Just tell him that life is not all black and white and there is a lot of grey in between, and tread through it smartly. So the fifth and the last point would be that do not lie in your interview. No matter what anyone says, no matter what anyone tells you, just don't lie. You can stretch things a little, you can sugarcoat things. Don't tell blatant lies, because the interviewer has more years of experience than our age. He will catch your lie like this. It's very easy for him. He can see it in your face. So, and if you get caught, you will get caught. So when you get caught, your interview will be done then and there. Do not lie. And I am not saying that be completely honest. You can stretch things, you can mold, you can sugarcoat. Just don't lie. So that was all about the GDPR preparation. But today, in the times of COVID and this pandemic, many colleges have chucked off their GD process because it's not really viable to have a GD process online, and they have shifted to the mode of elevator pitch. They ask you for an elevator pitch and judge it on and judge your candidature based on it. So here are some tips for your elevator pitch as well. The first is timing. See, the length of your elevator pitch matters a lot. It shouldn't be more than 1 to 1.5 minutes. In the elevator pitch, basically you are pitching your candidature to the interviewer. Why will he view it if you make a 5-minute long video? He will get bored. All of us have seen that movie, The Pursuit of Happiness. And we have that scene where he solves that Rubik's Cube and then pitches himself to his potential employer. We have to do the same thing. We have to keep it short and we have to stare at it. Now, apart from the content, there are also some things that you have to keep in mind while shooting the video. It is also really important. And it comprises of background, surround noise, and the video quality. Now, coming to background. You have to keep a sober background. You cannot have an infographic background behind you and shoot your elevator pitch. To soothe things more, you can have a plant. You can keep a plant here and here. It will give a more soothing effect to your video. You can have a white background. You can have curtains. Just don't have pink curtains. Have a sober color, which adds to your video. Second would be surround noise. If you live in an area where there is too much noise, construction is going on, or there is a baby crying, don't shoot your video over there. It has a very, very negative effect on the interviewer. You need a completely silent place, and yes, turn off the fan before shooting the video, because you may not hear it, but the fan does add noise to the video. Third would be the clear video quality. when you shoot a video, make sure you're not holding a phone in your hand, because when you hold a phone in your hand, it moves and your video quality gets distorted. Place your phone in one place, and if you don't have a mobile stand or a mobile holder or anything, you can stack books over one over another, and place your phone over there and then shoot the video. And probably use a phone with high resolution, because if you are not clear in the video, the interviewer will not be interested in watching it. Now coming back to the content, the first and foremost thing is, do not confuse this question with tell me something about yourself or run me through your CV. It's not that. It is completely different. Here you have a limited amount of time. You have to use to the point sentences and make your point. Which brings me to the second point, that you have to focus on your strengths and achievements. For example, you are applying for an MBA college, right? So MBA is a post-graduation degree. Here, what will add more weightage to your elevator pitch is what you have done in your graduation. You held first rank in some exam. Mention it. You have written a paper that got published. Mention it. But do not mention the sports, clubs, events or things like that do not add value. You have a limited amount of time, and you only want to say things that will actually add value in that video, that will actually grasp the interviewer. If you are working, then you have to tell about your work in such a way that you have to tell the elements that added value to the company. You upscaled the sellings, you resolved consumer complaints, you did door-to-door sellings and sold n number of products. Those are the things that added value to the company. You have to tell that in your pitch. You don't have to describe your role. You don't have to give your job description in it. The third part would be that you have to end your elevator pitch with your goals and what you want to achieve in your life. And this part will change along with the company you apply in, the colleges you apply in, because see, every college and every company has its own motto, mission, goal, and your goals should align with their goals. Only then they are going to select you. If there is not a rapport, there is a mismatch, they will not select you. So this is the part that you have to rewrite every time you apply in some other college or some other company. That's all from my side, and I hope you learned a lot from it. Here is a summary of all that I have discussed about the GT, PI and the elevator pitch. I hope it helps you. If you enjoyed watching this video, do subscribe to my channel and like and share the video. And if you have any further queries about the GDPI or anything related to the selection process, I'll drop my Insta profile link in the description box. You can contact me over there. Thank you. Bye bye.